What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of The Comeback Couples, hosted by Mark and Kendra Jennison. This show is all about living life with a comeback. We're going to touch base on all things life. Today's topic is reading each other as a couple. Sit back, enjoy the show, and let's roll. I'm always looking for something to say out front, like baby, baby. Like I was going to come out with something just to say, hey, and we also have a special guest inside of the house today. We've got Bailey Boo. She's down below making a little fort underneath the desk here. So if you hear her popping in, chiming in, she's the 4-year-old. She's the princess of the house. If you ask her, she's probably the queen, the princess, all of it in one, right? I would imagine. She thinks everything's about her. But today's topic is about reading your, reading your significant other and reading one another right this second. And there's just, I don't sugarcoat shit on anything else I do so here, but right now there's some frustrations going on inside of my world. I personally am in like I don't say it's dark in my head right this
you
second.
Just feel like you're in some sort of emotional turmoil, if you will.
Just there's a lot of change going on, a lot of change within the business. I think even though it's not been cold, I think not seeing the sun in a week or over a week is taking its toll on me. Tired, not sleeping well, as you know that I fucking every second for me is like a year for other people, right? Like it's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I wanted to talk about this topic was just, this morning I was on the elliptical, I think, when you were texting me and you said, I just don't like when you hurt, and you asked, what can you do? And reading it, like I said nothing, just smile with a picture of a giraffe. But, that's what I said to you. But the thing is this, the reason I wanted to have this topic was reading one another. So I want you to tell me, tell these people, like, how you read that. How do you know? Because I do a pretty good job of not letting you guys know that I'm hurting. Right? I mean, the frustration.
No, yeah, I know what you mean by that. How do I know these things? I think just because I'm your wife and I do know all the ins and outs of you. So even when you think you're doing a really good job of hiding things.
Well, I don't want to hide things.
You know what I mean? Like your emotions, you get really quiet when typically you're a very, very energetic, loud, in your face kind of guy.
Right.
And so you get quiet, really short. You kind of keep to yourself, which I appreciate. Like, I appreciate in the sense that I know where you're coming from, because I kind of get the same way. Like, I get a little quiet.
Which, by the way, little disclaimer here, she's the quietest person I've met in my life. So for her to get really, really quiet, because I'm going to talk about that in a minute, it's almost like I'm fucking in a float tank where it's just black space and there's nothing going on. And so the universe is floating. So anyways, you go ahead.
But yeah, just getting back to you just get really quiet. And I think that the biggest thing is even though I know when you go through those things, there's nothing I can really say or do to make it or to fix it instantly, But I think the biggest thing is I just know that you need your space. I will ask you, hey, I love you. You need anything? I kind of know that you need whatever you're going through right now. You need to figure it out, but whatever you need, I'm here. And I just think that just.
But are there like some dead mannerisms that really, really give it away? So for you, when you sit there and I can tell, like, you're already really quiet.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like the spot where you literally go down an octave in your voice. You almost move at a sloth pace, and I'm not saying that to be an asshole.
No, I know.
But but it's not that you you still do everything you need to do, but almost like you are just fucking so exhausted that everything is stopped.
Right.
So I know at that point, and I think we talked in some of our couples coaching the other day, like that's when I really, really pick up the pieces, and that's when the different types of communication come in. I told you this, that you signed on for this, so I'm going to ask you a million times, are you all right? What can I do? Like there's that verbal communication, but it's the other stuff,
right?
The other things that I do to pick up the slack. Is there anything that that really gives it away when it's me? And this is something I'm trying to ask because number one, I can hide it better, even though I say I don't want to hide it, but at least I can learn a little bit.
Yeah,
I can learn more about myself.
I think the biggest thing, honestly, is how I just really know that you are in your own head trying to figure things out is typically you come home for lunch and then you'll come home after dinner, or sometimes if you get done early, you'll come home and you are just like, you're in the door and you're like, where's my family? And I'm home. And I can tell when you're in your head, like I said, just you come home, you kind of close the door, you're really quiet. And at first I look at you like your head will be kind of down, like you're just focused on inside of your head so deeply. And so that is the biggest giveaway. Like you're just not the same person when you're trying to figure things out. So I just right away, I'm like, okay.
Do you want to know a secret? That's the man you married. What I mean by that is that guy is what created everything that we have.
Right. I knew that. I knew that. Yeah.
But he very, very, very rarely shows his face anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And so I think when you do, I'm like, okay, he's got a lot going on right now. I know that it has nothing to do with me or the kids. So I know it's business and whatever. And you just need to figure it out. And then of course I always ask you, is there anything I can do? And you're just like, no, I just got a lot. I just need to work through it.
I could tell you some things you could do, but I know that your mom listens to this.
Oh my God.
She's going to laugh when she hears that. Wow, this is a family rated one. There's a lot of things you could do. No, I'm just teasing about that. The importance of that though, and it goes in both ways. The reason I want to have this conversation is because like so many couples out there forget because we get in the daily life, you know. I had a conversation with one of my clients this morning talking about the fear of rejection because it's been so long since he's even went up and grabbed her ass. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And wondering like what that's going to be like, what's she going to do? And I granted, like walls get built. And the reason that I think it's important and kind of like wanted to give some value and some takeaway on this is because I don't feel like we have walls. I don't feel like we have walls built, and they could have been built by now. I know in relatively short terms, it's only been a few years we've been together, but walls get built quickly.
Definitely.
Right? Like like standards and and not even standards, but just the walls get built because of the way that the actions are. I feel like in our relationship, in the connection that we have, the work sometimes gets done by reading each other, reading between the lines and understanding who each other is on a level to be able to absorb the pains.
Right, exactly. And how to react to them is another big thing. I think it's so imperative in a relationship to be able to read your partner. And it's really important to communicate that. Like for you, I know that when you're in your head, the best thing to do for me to do is not to sit there and nag you and be like, well, what's wrong? And how can I know that, all right, how you respond well is, hey, I'm here for you. Figure it out. If you, whatever you need, I'm here. Like easy as that. And then I kind of let you be, I let you work through it. And then usually in a couple days you come back to me and you're like, all right, yeah, I got that. You know, it's, and the same thing, you read me and kind of through trial and error. I think in the beginning you kind of smothered me with, well, what can I do? And now you've just learned through, like I said, trial and error, like, okay, I just know that she needs her space. I know she loves me. I know it's nothing personal. Like, I think it's so important for couples to kind of rekindle that, because
it's a great point, actually, because when, you know, you've got, you know, your brother passed and this even before your dad passed, but, and ultimately too, I'm sure that, you know, we don't talk a lot about it, but I'm sure going over to Afghanistan and shit, like probably has some shit inside your head, right, that you're dealing with all the time, on top of just life
in general, yeah,
right, life in general, and taking care of 3 kids and these things like that. But when I was learning you and how a wall could have got built so quickly was because, yeah, I don't want to say, and maybe I did smother, but I was like, I needed to figure you out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and then well, as I was figuring out and knowing those things, my insecurities that I had before would be like, okay, well, she's not responding. Am I not good enough? And I mean, and these are legit things that went through my mind. Okay. Like, is this really going to work? Am I doing this right? And then I realized that, like, dude, you are doing everything, because there's, like we talked about I don't know, actually, I don't know if we did the podcast on this, but in the coaching session with one of the clients we work with, we talked about the physical communication, the verbal communication, the
Yes.
nonverbal communication. And that's when I really got good at reading you. But that's a great point, because had I not reacted
Right.
to it the way that I did, I think a wall would have got built there, because I'd be still doing something. I would have got to know you.
And I think what is so, another thing that was crucial for us was when you were, I say smothering, but it's just not what I was used to, you know, because you were like, okay, are you okay? What can I do for you? Or kind of, I say, hovering over me, like smothering me with love and just asking me 20,000 questions. And I think what made it for you able to figure me out easier was I just kind of told you, I was like, listen, it literally has nothing to do with you. Do not take it personal. I love you. This is what I need. Like, this is how I want to handle this. And I think once you started to, okay, it really is not anything personal. I know, just like how I said before. And yeah, you just learn to figure that out. And just, and now it's awesome, because if I'm feeling down about my brother or my dad, I know, you know, because you're like, hey, I just want you to know I love you a lot today. And then I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, God, he knows me so well. I needed that. Thank you. And then you kind of let me have my space.
Right.
And then, you know, a day or so goes by and I'm like, okay, I was fine. Like,
it was tough to get to that point. I don't think we've ever even really talked about that, but I remember at night in particular at the old house that we were laying in bed, and you got up and you needed to go take a drive. I don't remember if you actually took the drive or not, but you were struggling with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an intense moment for me, because I felt so helpless. Right. Mm-hmm. And I thought back into my life, like some of the loss and the things that I've been through. I didn't have anybody there for me except for a bottle of booze. You know what I'm saying? Like, like my go-to would have been like, well, if I was, so my go-to would have been, because I'd done that. I got up out of bed, and but me, I didn't need to go for a drive. I needed to go down and get fucked up. Right. And that's how I needed to deal with it. When I did that, and it was intense for me, because I didn't know where you were coming from at that time.
Yeah. You truthfully had no idea. Like, and to be honest, all those emotions were new for me too. So it's like, I don't want to sit here and break down in front of him. And then that just causes, I was like, in my head, the best thing for me to do was just to get up, go take a break, like walk outside, go for a drive, clear my thoughts. And then I did, as I was driving, on top of all the other emotions, I was like, shit, this is not going to make him feel great about himself. Like, I can only imagine what you were thinking, you know, having your girlfriend get up, walk out, be like, I just got to go for a drive. You're probably like, what the fuck did I do wrong? You know?
Yeah, those are definitely some thoughts, but I also knew, because like I was starting already learning, like I could tell. I mean, your brother was your best friend. You know, like it's I mean, it's still to this day. I feel like because I read you so well, and even though you still hurt, I feel like we've been able to build a really, really safe environment for you, for both of us, right. Truthfully. But you know, your losses are fresh as fuck, and the grieving process, because we do read each other so well, has made it so that it's literally, you don't have to go through it alone ever.
Exactly. And I think just kind of wrapping this whole thing together is just goes to show how important it is to be able to read your partner. And I think, and that's not to get mixed up with playing games or, you know, because so many people are like, well, fuck that. She's not communicating. It has nothing to do with that. Just how your partner is going to respond, and how you're going to react. And sometimes they just need that, you know?
I want to ask you a question. And this could be thoughts, or maybe even, as much as I don't like thinking about you in other relationships, but you could go back to that place. I'll give you the question and my answer. But what do you think makes people give up on reading people? For me, until you, I mean, I could give a fuck what any of my other girlfriends thought. And that's just I didn't want to read them. They weren't the right people. They weren't my people. And I knew that.
I think as you go along in life, and this is just every relationship you can take and you grow, and the biggest thing for me is, the people that I was with weren't my people. We didn't have the same type of mentality. I'm not saying we didn't have great times here and there, whatever, because all relationships have that, but they didn't read me they didn't read me and respond how I needed them to. So somebody, let's just say, for instance, somebody could read me and be like, and then they would get mad because, well, fuck this, I'm having to sit here and you're not talking to me and da 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 da, and I don't, I'm just like, holy cow, this is not what I need. I just need to take a break. I'm doing this because of this reason. Like, I don't need you to sit here and get mad at me for how I'm feeling, you start to kind of get like this personal, and that's just one small thing on top of, other things. But yeah, I think just them not responding or respecting how I needed to be, how I was like, I don't know, coming over my emotions or trying to work through them is what I'm trying to say.
I think a big deal too, and this is just why we work so well is, there is a large age difference.
Definitely.
And and I am fucking intense. I am focused. I am driven. But at the end of the day, even though I'm 39 years old, but I still act like a kid. And I sometimes, think like, had us be the same age, Mark, knowing we love each other, but thinking Mark 28, Kendra 28 at the same time.
There's no way.
I wouldn't be able to be the man, even if you get rid of all the crazy shit I did. I wasn't mentally prepared to read you.
Right.
Even though that knowing it could have been a great thing, but if the difference in the 11 years in the age, I wouldn't have been able to read you.
Right. Yeah, I think that just has to do with like the whole mature thing. You're able to take a step back and be like, okay,
I had a conversation this morning with a guy. I'm like, dude, about our relationship. I said, she's much younger than me, and I like the way she looks, and I also know that like she is 28. I like the way she looks in a bikini. I like the way she looks naked. I like the way I just like my wife, and I need to she makes me feel younger, but at the same time, I also get to lead her the way she's to be led because of the stage I'm in inside of my game. Or inside of my game, my journey. Right?
Definitely.
But it is my game. This is my life. My life is my game. It's my action.
Yep.
Well, reading each other, that was the topic of it. I think this went a complete different way, which gave me a spin-off, or it didn't go the different way, but it was a good conversation. I got to get ready to get another call, but I just want to give some advice out there, and maybe you can give some advice too to some people out there that are having a hard time reconnecting. Right?
Definitely.
This is for people that are in relationships and reconnecting. And one of the first things is being able to, I think you need to sit down and actually take a self-evaluation of yourself, how you need to be read, and ultimately look at how you've been reading to a significant other.
Right.
What would you say? Like, what's some advice? So if I'm looking at the couple in my mind, I had this conversation yesterday. Like, I told them what to do. Like, she's read, go home, grab her butt, like make a she's going to respond. Either she's going to hit you or she's going to be happy. Yeah. Right. Like you're going to do that or do something different with the kids, or make the videos that you love that I send you all the time. Right. These are all different forms of communication, but how would you tell someone to read?
The biggest thing is,
do it.
Just freaking do it. Truthfully. Like how we were in the beginning. If you guys have been together for 5 years, 17 years, 20 years, there's a really good chance that your wife or your husband has changed, grown, and to not really know how to read them is okay, but you have to take charge and you have to figure that out still. So wherever you're at in your relationship, maybe you're just absolutely terrified. You and your wife haven't made love in 4 years and I don't even know how to talk to her anymore. Just start. Just do it. Tell her your intention. Say, listen, I really want to make love to you tonight. I don't know how you're going to freaking react to that. So what can I do? What can I do?
And here's a good
just
point.
Communicate it.
And even if you don't get it that time, like it doesn't work out,
don't take it personal.
At least you fucking broke down the barrier. You started breaking down the wall.
Exactly. And if your wife is like, absolutely not, I don't want it. Do not take, it's going to suck and it's going to hurt. All you have to, okay. But just know that I really want to do this for you, for us. And I think it's really going to make our relationship stronger. Anything like that, your wife is going to think about, or your husband is going to think about, and maybe they don't want to do it that night, but they're going to think about it and they're going to be like, okay, this is communication. This is good. And that is the way to rekindle anything, that's a way to start it. Just start.
Compliments too. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's a great thing, right? You want to get laid, right? If you're a guy,
Right.
right? And it's been 4 years that we use the terms you said, but you know that already. And even if you're going to ask him, like, you have the audacity to go up there and say, you know, this is what I want. Like, cool, more power to you. But don't forget about the pieces that she needs to hear. Little things like, has anyone told you look beautiful today? I mean, how often do I tell you that?
Almost every day.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Or I mean, we could look and see how many times I tell you I love you, or how much I need you. Even when I'm fucking in this dark place where I am right now and you read me, I make sure to let you know that. And it's not because I want to get laid, right? That's not why I do. I do it because I want you to know that even when I'm disconnected from everything, I'm still connected.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's episode of the Comeback Couples. I am going to throw in a call to action here, because we're doing these things. The feedback we're getting is great. We're looking in the month of February to take on a couple more, actually 4 more one-on-one clients. And we also have some other stuff we're doing, but you got to be inside the council, so we're not going to do that. So if you listen to me, you've got to come through the comeback. If you listen to Kendra, if you listen, it's not me on this one, I got to shut up on that. But if you listen to us on this thing and you're really kind of liking it, and you're like, you know what, I want to see what this is all about, I want to see if they can help, and you want what we have, we'd love to reach out and talk to you. So that's it for today's episode. Love your wife, love your life, get paid and get laid. Have a great day.